Frank's resume speaks of his qualification for the crucial role he plays in the implementation of the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino or the 4PH program. He heads the program Sustainability and Asset Management and Trust Unit along with the Beneficiary Concerns Unit and is often designated to represent and discuss the 4PH program in various consultative forums, including legislative and policy development sessions. Before the shoot, he was the executive director of the Philippine Finance Association, vice president of Small Business Corporation, and manager at the Home Guarantee Corporation, now Philippine Guarantee Corporation. With over 10 years of experience in the financing and housing sector, he has demonstrated competencies in business development for guarantee and solutions for small business financing, project management, accounts evaluation, conducting due diligence for guarantee lines, implementation of framework for targeted project prioritization, simplified financing processes for stakeholders resulting to faster loan takeouts, and creation policy and processes for managing account defaults and program sustainability. On the side, he is also an advocate for the micro, small, and medium enterprises and consumer protection as former head of Consumer Welfare Group. He has also acted as spokesperson for the companies he was with in articulating plans and programs and with track record of leading initiatives that enhance affordable housing access and improve living conditions. In many ways, he has proven skills in collaboration with government entities, private sector stakeholders, and community organizations to drive sustainable housing solutions. Once again, let us welcome our next speaker, ASEC Frank Lloyd C. Gonzaga.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Cheryl, and to the officers of the National Real Estate Association and my fellow resource speakers for today. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I've received several questions in advance po, no? But I'll go through my slides and hopefully some of them will answer already some of your questions. So at the beginning of June, late May, a new secretary of the Department of Human Settlements was appointed by si Engineer Jose Ramon Aliling was appointed as Secretary of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. And from day one po of his term, he has already articulated the expansion of the 4PH program to not only include the vertical housing program, but also the horizontal housing program and other modalities. He has also taken an 8-point agenda, which includes a zero backlog of as part of our regulatory function. And at the same time, he has embarked on a zero tolerance for corruption. So yun po ang ating mga sinusunod na alituntunin ngayon para nandito po sa Department of Human Settlements. So siguro po ngayon sa pagkakataong ito, allow me to expound further on the expanded 4PH program. What is the interest subsidy policy and how we will implement it, and what is the beneficiary-centric modality as insofar as the 4PH program is concerned. Next slide. Okay, so we'll try to cover all these, no? So operationalization of the expanded 4PH program, the program affordability, the price ceiling and monthly amortizations, the eligibility requirements of beneficiaries, and the updated beneficiary takeouts for vertical housing projects and other matters. Okay. So when we look at when we reviewed when Secretary Ping reviewed the program, sabi niya, teka, let us really let us look at the what should be the target of the 4PH, no? So sabi niya, differently abled naman ang ating mga kababayan. So they have different paying habits, they have different financial capabilities. So let's go to that fact. And so sabi niya, let's accept that fact and that reality. And so we have to expand, no, the modalities under the 4PH program. So under the 4PH now, the expanded 4PH program, we have vertical housing, which is the vertical housing of the previous secretary pa rin naman on the 4PH housing units. The horizontal housing to cover all socialized housing that are currently being built and will be built by the private sector. Rental housing, we're also going to pursue some delayed presidential proclamations. We have also the KSA enhanced programs. The KSA enhanced programs, we will probably hear more about the enhanced CMP program from EVP Junifer Payot later. And what are the incremental housing program, no, or incremental improvements? So generally, what I hope you can see this slide, but this was brought about by realizing that if we look at the income deciles, no, in the Philippines, starting from the income decile 1, 11,940 pesos, so those earning 11,940 and below, no, they might be able to afford some other modalities, but not some, no. So hindi naman lahat ay kaya niyang ma-afford, and there are other more suitable products that that person or the beneficiary from that income decile may afford. So take a look, for example, at the other modalities, particularly that of the rental housing, no, or if you want to look at the SHFC, the community mortgage program, where the amortization will be based largely on the capability of the beneficiaries to pay, no. So eto, kaya na nila siguro income decile 1 to 3, which is in the blue shaded portion, no? And if you look at the vertical housing, if, say, for example, without subsidy, we look at, or with subsidy, we look at the low-rise and the medium-rise buildings, and these are what they can afford, no? And then you intervene with the interest subsidy to make it a little bit more affordable. So what are we saying here? We're saying that differently capable beneficiaries should be able to still avail of the 4PH program, but maybe through other modalities, like hindi naman lahat kayang bumili ng bahay, or hindi naman lahat may gustong bumili ng bahay, so there should be rental housing as well. Okay, next slide. So under the revised subsidy guidelines, what we're saying is that because Pag-ibig has already lowered the interest rate, I'm sure that you're familiar with this already, and it's been part of the news and press releases of Pag-ibig as well, that they have lowered their interest rate for socialized housing. Ito yung affordable housing program dati ng Pag-ibig na 3%, but they have already improved it and expanded it to include those not only minimum wage earners na naging 17,000 before, no? Ngayon, pagka NCR ang project, or rather resident ka ng NCR, what's applicable to you will be the NCR averages, so mga 47,000 and below, no? You'll still be able to avail of the 3%. And kung outside NCR ka, that will be 34,000 and below. That should be your income. And because that's lowered already, what we're saying is that if the General Appropriations Act gives us interest subsidy or budget for interest subsidy, then we will provide the 2% subsidy, no? So that such that the beneficiary will end up paying the 1% na lang, no? So from 3 magiging 1. But what we are saying here is that it is more sustainable, no? Kasi dati-rati 6.25 ang interest ng Pag-ibig, and we subsidize the 5%, pero pag nawala yung subsidy na 5%, yung 1.25 nila will jump back up to 6.25. While here, kapag nawala yung interest subsidy, because we are requesting this annually, no, to be appropriated from the General Appropriations Act, kapag hindi nabigyan ng budget, yung 1% magiging 3%. So medyo mas sustainable to, and we think that there will be less default and less adjustment as far as the beneficiaries are concerned. So, let me just reiterate, no? Yung kaninang income decile na sinasabi ko, na income decile 7, hindi kasali doon ang OFW. So the OFWs, kahit magkano pa ang kinikita nila, they will be qualified for the program regardless of their income decile classification. So next. So how do developers apply for the 4PH program? This is what we're saying is that, or rather, the new procedure is such that we don't have to accredit projects anymore. No, tinanggal na namin yung bipartite agreements with the local government units, the tripartite agreements with the Pag-ibig Fund and the Department of Human Settlements. Simply, kapag meron kayong certificate of registration, may license to sell, may development permit, and eventually the certificate of completion, maaari na ninyong ipasok ang inyong mga proyekto sa 4PH program. So we need not review the site development plan. Wala na po kaming titingnan yan. But of course, this will be reviewed in the permitting process. No? So kapag nag-apply kayo, development permit, nag-apply kayo ng license to sell, and the certificate of registration, those will be checked. But as far as the central, the SHUD Central is concerned, wala na po kaming nire-review ng mga papeles dito na additional pa, no, on top of the development permit, the license to sell, and the certificate of registration. So meaning, lahat po ng socialized housing projects ay pwedeng participate po sa expanded 4PH program. Next. So ito lang po, just to elaborate further on the income deciles. Sa Pilipinas po kasi ay hinati po natin according to the Philippine Statistics Authority into income decile, or 10 po, no? So we divided the income of per 10% and got their averages, no? So what ang sinasabi po dito, the first decile are those earning a national average of 11,940 and NCR average of 21,671. So these first three income deciles are our priority for the interest subsidy and non-interest subsidy support. Ang ibig pong sabihin, kapag po, say for example, ang naibigay ng General Appropriations Act sa atin ay hindi sasapat para sa lahat, uunahin po nating bigyan ang mga nandito po sa first to three income deciles. Susunod po, yung 4th to 7th, kapag meron pa rin pong budget, we will still be giving them the subsidy pa rin po, no? Ganun pa rin po. And yung 8th to 10th decile may avail of the 4PH unit if they want to, without the interest subsidy, and of course, subject to the 6.25% interest of Pag-ibig. Okay. So yung pong first three income deciles may also avail, no, based on the GAA that was approved in 2024 and 2025. Meron silang karagdagang subsidy po. Ito po yung mortgage redemption insurance, the fire and allied perils insurance, and estate management fee. Now, the mortgage redemption insurance, dahil hindi po naman, kumbaga kasi ang sinasabi kasi ng GAA doon sa special provision is that not more than 500 pesos eh. So a portion of the mortgage redemption insurance, pero inuuna po natin dito yung fire and all and allied perils insurance eh. So kung may sumobra man po doon, because ang limitation po dito is 500 pesos per beneficiary, so yun lang po ang nasasagot natin. So not the whole mortgage redemption insurance. Kasi pag pinag-add po itong dalawang ito, chances are lalabas to ng mga 600 plus eh. So, and then the estate management fee po right now at 25 pesos per square meter. Yun po ang approved na nasa special provision ng General Appropriations Act. Okay, next. Okay, so just as an example, ang housing unit, say for example, sa housing units 1.8 million, and then you add the 10-year fire insurance and the 10-year estate management fee of 81,000, magiging total niyan is 1.918 million ang total, no? So lahat yan payable in 30 years, and the interest subsidy subject to availability of funds, sabihin na natin 15 years. And the annual interest rate is 3%, and if we provide a subsidy, that's 2%, no? So from year 1 to 30, supposedly kung wala kang subsidy, 8,087 pesos yan and 96 centavos, no? So straight up, yung 1.918, imputan mo ng 3%, magiging 8,087. Kapag ka siguro 6.25, mga nasa mga 11,100 plus. Okay. With with the 4PH subsidy, magiging 6,170 na lang, no? So it's an improvement, no? May subsidy yung government na around 1.8 or 1.9 pesos. And if it stops, babalik ka lang ngayon sa 8,087. So at in any given time, say for example from year 1 to 15, biglang nawala yung interest subsidy or hindi nagkasya yung interest subsidy was provided for in the GAA, babalik ka lang sa 8,087. So pagka tiningnan mo dito, it's not a big jump, no? Not from 6,170 magiging 11,000, no? Which is around 5,000 difference. Hindi magiging ganun. Mahirap talagang hanapin kung saan mo kukunin yung additional 5,000 per month. But here, the additional 1,800 may be sourced from other sources of income. So mas sustainable. We look at it as more sustainable and mas kaya, no? Mas kaya ng ating mga kababayan if in case there will be that the chance that the interest subsidy may not be provided by the GAA. Next. Okay, so sa price ceiling and monthly amortization, we are still imputing yung previous na ceilings, no? So 4 floors, yung sabi natin na 1,325 pa rin yung ceiling niyan. 1.325, yung 5 to 9 floors, what's 1.407. The 10 floors and above, 1.8 million. And of course, the horizontal is still 850,000. No? But we have also already forwarded our recommendations to the DepDev for them to for us to review and adjust the price ceiling come October po. No? So yan naman ay subject to the approval and agreement of the Department of the DepDev. Okay, next. So amortization payment, if we look at the existing price ceiling, will be ito pa rin naman, no? 3,849 kapag 22 square meters, and as low as 3,849 for the 4PH building. Kung ang product mo ay yung socialized na horizontal housing, so 850,000 yan. Ang amortization mo, given that 3%, let me just compute lang. Ang subsidized mo will be 2,733, 2,854 to pag kami kasamang fire insurance, so magiging 2,854 yan. But yung normal niya na 3% is 3,741. No? But this is pegged again at the selling price or housing price ceiling of 850,000 pesos. So kung subsidized siya, madadagdagan siya ng subsidy na 2%, magiging 2,854. Kapag walang subsidy, it's 3,741. So still we believe that this is affordable for some income groups. Okay, next. Okay, so ngayon, sabi natin, padaliin na lang din natin na makapag-apply yung mga beneficiary natin ng 4PH housing units. Hindi na katulad ng dati na they have to be endorsed by the local government unit. Ngayon, sa bagong proseso natin, next slide, 2 steps lang nga, sabi ni Secretary dito 2 steps. The beneficiary will choose their socialized housing product, submit it to Pag-ibig. But in siguro to operationalize this, you can see my slide. So kung ang 4PH beneficiary ay nag-submit sa developers naman or sa real estate broker, i-consolidate naman ng developer yan and then ipapasa sa Pag-ibig. Now, ang role naman namin dito sa DSUD and sa beneficiaries unit is to monitor all these submissions lang. So, pwedeng ang beneficiary ay dumiretso na sa developer. Pwede siyang pumunta doon. Sabi niya, developer A, pwede ba akong mag-avail ng 4PH? At yung listahan na yan, ipapasa ng developer sa Pag-ibig at bibigyan naman kami ng Pag-ibig ng kopya. Pwedeng dumiretso rin naman ang beneficiary sa Pag-ibig Fund through their portal. No? Sa ngayon, ang natatanggap na namin according to Pag-ibig, we have already received around 18,000 applications, no, or intent to participate ng mga beneficiaries in the 4PH program. So, ilalagay ng Pag-ibig Fund yung inyong proyekto sa kanilang website upang maisama sa maaaring pagpilian ng mga beneficiaries. So, ang lahat, this is just a very elaborate process flow, no? But simply put, kapag pumunta ka sa Pag-ibig at pinalista mo yung pangalan mo to want to avail of 3% interest rate at meron kang socialized housing project na ma-identify, they will process it and they will kumbaga ipapadala niyo sa developer for the developer to complete the folder para matuloy ito sa takeout. Okay, next. Okay, so ano ba yung eligibility requirements? Same pa rin, no? The beneficiary must be a Filipino citizen, must not be a professional squatter, must pass, of course, the eligibility requirements of Pag-ibig Fund, must be based on Pag-ibig data, shall be attested. Dapat meron silang first-time home ownership based on available Pag-ibig data, must not be more than 65 years old and above. But if you have a 65 years old that will apply, baka meron naman silang co-borrower or younger na para hindi mas maiksi masyado yung loan term, and must not be an awardee or a beneficiary of residential housing units of the National Housing Authority and the Social Housing Finance Corporation. So, ngayon, ang 4PH vertical housing takeouts namin, next slide, we're now at 1,852 na na-take out, and we're hoping to add more to this number of takeouts, particularly with the inclusion of the horizontal housing modality, no? And eventually with the CMP, we'll probably be able to already count them. Okay, next slide. So eto lang, just an update. The Palayan City Township Housing projects being taken out already. Next, the Bacolod City project, Ascenso Yuhum residences have been taken out also already. The LSANs have already started being taken out by the Pag-ibig Fund. Bulacan Manor is almost ready for takeout. I think we'll be able to take out by September. Crystal Peak nag-start na ng takeout. Then next, Santa Maria Highlands, we had a briefing last Wednesday. Umpisa na rin to almost. Next, San Mateo, mayroon na, hinintay na rin natin yung takeout nito. And that's it, no? So I'll be ready to answer some of your questions maybe later during the question and answer. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.